Hello everyone, now let us discuss about drugs affecting renin-angiotensin system part 2. In the current session, we will be focusing on angiotensin receptor blockers and direct renin inhibitors. So first of all, classification, we all know that the drugs which affect angiotensin system are AC inhibitors, ARBs, direct renin inhibitors, aldosterone antagonist and sympathetic blockers. And in the current session, we will be focusing on angiotensin receptor blockers. Examples are losartan, candesartan and valsartan. And next, the direct renin inhibitors. The example is aliskiren. Coming to angiotensin receptor blockers. They are developed as alternative for AC inhibitors. The mechanism of action is they are orally active AT1 angiotensin 1 receptor blockers, and all overt actions of angiotensin 2 are blocked, like vasoconstriction, central and peripheral sympathetic stimulation, release of aldosterone and adrenaline from adrenals, renal actions like promoting salt and water reabsorption, and central actions like thirst, vasopressin release, growth promoting actions on heart and blood vessels. All these actions of angiotensin 2 are blocked by AT1 receptor blockers. Now coming to the comparative study of ARBs and ACE inhibitors. The angiotensin receptor blockers that do not interfere with degradation of bradykinin and other ACE substrates. Hence, there is no rise in the level of bradykinin or substance P. Because of that reason, by the use of ARB, angiotensin receptor blockers, the ACE inhibitor induced cough or related cough is rare, and more complete inhibition of angiotensin 1 receptor activation, because responses to angiotensin 2 generated via alternate pathway and consequent angiotensin 1 receptor activation are also blocked by angiotensin receptor blockers. They also have an indirect AT2 receptor activation, and they cause little increase in the angiotensin level. Coming to the uses, the first use is hypertension. They are the first line drugs compared to AC inhibitors because they have less adverse effects like cough, rashes and angioedema. Like AC inhibitors, the maximum hypertensive effect reaches in 2 to 4 weeks. Ventricular and vascular hypertrophy and remodeling is arrested or reversed similarly, and no additional benefit in hypertension with ARBs and AC inhibitors. There is no additional benefit in the treatment of hypertension with the combination of ARBs plus AC inhibitors. The next use is congestive heart failure. They offer symptomatic relief and survival benefits in congestive heart failure. In case of myocardial infarction, they provide long-term survival benefits. Coming to diabetic nephropathy, better tolerability is seen with the use of ARBs, and they are first choice of drugs. They have renoprotective action in type 2 diabetes mellitus, and they are independent of blood pressure lowering. Coming to the combination of AC inhibitors and angiotensin receptor blockers. This combination is used for the complete suppression of renin-angiotensin system, and it has a cardioprotective action in congestive heart failure, and it has renoprotection in diabetic nephropathy. One more important point is the angiotensin 2 is generated in several tissues by non-ACE mechanisms, such as especially in heart and kidneys, and those effects are also blocked by angiotensin receptor blockers. And the AC inhibitors, they produce bradykinin and angiotensin related vasodilation and other effects which are not produced by ARBs. That is also a benefit. And generally the angiotensin receptor blockers can cause an increase in angiotensin 2 level that can be checked by AC inhibitors. These are the benefits of using angiotensin receptor blockers and ACE inhibitors together. In case of congestive heart failure, addition of ARBs to AC inhibitors causes hemodynamic and symptomatic improvement. But the risk of hyperkalemia, hypotension, renal impairment is also increased by this combination. And non-diabetic renal disease. In case of non-diabetic renal disease, this combination retards the progression of non-diabetic renal disease to a greater extent when compared to monotherapy. Though they offer benefits, the risk of hyperkalemia, hypotension, and renal impairment are also increased by the use of angiotensin receptor blockers and ARBs concurrently. Coming to the comparative study of some angiotensin receptor blockers. First one is losartan. The bioavailability is 33%. Time to reach peak action is 1 hour. Elimination T-half is 2 hours. Mode of excretion is hepatic. Duration of action is greater than 24 hours for low dose and it is 24 hours for high dose. Daily dosage is 50 mg and dose adjustment should be done in renal insufficiency and in hepatic dysfunction to 25 mg. 50% reduction in the dose is seen should be done in renal insufficiency and hepatic dysfunction. Coming to the next drug, it is candesartan. Bioavailability is 15%, which is very less. Time to reach peak action is 3 to 4 hours. Elimination T-half is 8 to 12 hours. Mode of excretion is renal or hepatic. Duration of action is 24 hours. The daily dose is 8 mg. Dose adjustment should be done in that is kidney and liver impairment. Dose must be reduced to 50%, that is 4 mg. Irbesartan. Coming to the bioavailability, it has good bioavailability, 60 to 80%. Time to reach peak action is 1.5 to 2 hours. Elimination T-half is 12 hours. Mode of excretion is hepatic. Duration of action is 24 hours. Daily dose is 150 to 300 mg. Coming to the next drug, it is valsartan. Bioavailability is 23%. Time to reach peak action is 4 to 6 hours. Elimination T-half is 6 to 8 hours. Mode of excretion is hepatic. Duration of action is 24 hours. The daily doses are in the range of 80 to 160 mg. Dose adjustment should be done in liver disease, that is at least 50% of reduction in the dose is recommended. Coming to the next drug, it is olmesartan. Bioavailability is 26%. Time to reach peak action is 1 to 2 hours. Elimination T-half is 12 hours. The mode of excretion is renal or hepatic. Duration of action is 24 hours. Daily doses are in the range of 20 to 40 mg. And the next is telmisartan. The bioavailability is 40%. Time to reach peak action is 3 hours. Elimination T-half is 24 hours. Mode of excretion is hepatic. Duration of action is greater than 24 hours. Daily doses are in the range of 20 to 80 mg. In case of liver disease, dose must be reduced for telmisartan also. The next drug is eprosartan. Bioavailability is very less, that is 13%. Time to reach peak action is 1 to 2 hours. Elimination T-half is 5 to 9 hours. Mode of excretion is renal and duration of action is 20 hours. Daily dose is 600 mg. Coming to the adverse effects, they are hypertension, hyperkalemia. Few cases of dry cough, dysgeusia and angioedema are also seen with angiotensin receptor blockers. Headache, dizziness, weakness, upper GI effects are mild. Losartan has teratogenic or fetopathic potential. Coming to the use of losartan. Losartan is more effective than beta blockers. It reduces the stroke in hypertensive patients with left ventricular hypertrophy. And in cirrhotics, losartan has been found to control the portal hypertension. These are some of the specific uses of losartan. Coming to the next category, they are direct renin inhibitors. The drug is aliskiren. Coming to direct renin inhibitors, aliskiren. Usually, reduction in, let us briefly discuss about the renin mechanism. Reduction in the renal perfusion due to hypertension or reduction in blood volume leads to release of renin by kidney. and the renin cleaves angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1, which is converted to active form angiotensin 2 by ACE inhibitors. The angiotensin 2 actions are vasoconstriction, release of catecholamines, promoting aldosterone secretion, and subsequent sodium reabsorption. And these effects in combination, they increase the blood pressure. Now coming to the mechanism of action of direct renin inhibitor. This aliskiren, it is a non-peptide and it binds selectively to catalytic site of renin. And it competitively blocks the access of angiotensinogen to this site. One more important point is aliskiren has greater affinity to the catalytic site of renin than the angiotensinogen. Hence, whenever these two are accessible to that site, aliskiren binds to catalytic site of renin instead of angiotensinogen. So because angiotensinogen is not bound to renin, angiotensin 1 is not produced and the effector chain of RAS renin angiotensin system is interrupted. So this blocks multiple actions of angiotensin 2. This is the mechanism action of aliskiren, which is a direct renin inhibitor. Coming to the uses. First one is hypertension. It leads to dose-related fall in BP. Plasma aldosterone levels are also lowered. It is used for hypertensive left ventricular hypertrophy and it has benefits in congestive heart failure, renoprotection effect in diabetes and hypertensive patients. It reduces the albuminuria and used as an alternative antihypertensive drugs for those who do not respond to first-line drugs. Used in combination with ACE inhibitors or ARBs, it causes more complete RAS blockade and greater BP lowering and cardioprotective action. Has a clinical efficacy similar to that of ACE inhibitors. These are some of the uses of aliskiren. Coming to the pharmacokinetics, it is orally administered. Bioavailability is very low, 2.6%. Elimination is by hepato or biliary route. Peak plasma concentrations are reached within 1 to 3 hours. Plasma T-half is greater than 24 hours and the dose is in the range of 150 to 300 mg. Coming to the drug combinations, it is not a drug of first choice. It is not a first line drug. Combination of aliskiren plus either a ACE inhibitor or an ARB increases the risk of adverse effect. But it did not lower the risk of serious cardiovascular or renal event. Coming to the adverse effects, they are diarrhea and other GI symptoms, headache, hypotension, hyperkalemia, dizziness, cough. Cough is also same, but it is less frequent than ACE inhibitors and it is contraindicated in pregnancy. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for further videos on pharmacology and other related pharmaceutical sciences.